Hello, my name is Stevie Dubins, and I simulated every possible combination of Pokemon 1v1s in the game. That is over 500,000 unique battles to find out who is the very best. In this one, I'm going to be going over the top 10 in win percentage for Gen 4 Mons only. My methodology is in the description. Leave me your guesses in the comments on who you think will be in the top 10, and let's get started. At number 10, I have Darkrai. Darkrai had a win percentage of 81.6, which was 74th overall. I did a mathematical ranking of all type combinations, and Mono Dark finished 159th offensively and 81st defensively. Darkrai would rank 3rd in Gen 2. The reason I say this is to illustrate how stacked Gen 4 is with good mons. At number 9, I have Togekiss. Togekiss ended with a win percentage of 81.9, which was 71st overall. Fairy Flying ranked 77th offensively and 33rd defensively. I think this is a perfect example of a defensive Pokemon with actual defensive typing. Being immune to both Dragon and Ground wins you a lot of matchups automatically. At number 8, I have Magnezone. Magnezone ended with a win percentage of 82.2, which was 67th overall. Steel Electric was 90th offensively and 17th defensively. And I'm just gonna come out and say it, not having looked at the rest of the list, but I think this might be the best generation overall. There are so many good mons this gen. And I don't just say that because Gen 4 is maybe my favorite generation. At number 7, I have Empoleon. Empoleon finished with a win percentage of 82.7, which was 62nd overall. Steel Water was 75th offensively and 10th defensively. This makes Empoleon the highest ranked starter. I think this makes sense because Empoleon has at worst a neutral matchup into all 3 starter types, and Steel Water is by far the best starter typing. At number 6, I have Regigigas. My simulation does not include abilities, so this is why Regigigas ended up on this list, and I kept it in to make a point. Why does Regigigas need a negative ability? Regigigas ended up being 27th overall, which is admittedly very good, don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of mons higher than it. Being mono normal and not having a great move pool, I think, is a fair drawback to having the huge stats that it does. At number 5, I have God himself, Arceus. Arceus had a win percentage of 88.5, which was 21st overall. Mono normal, which is what this simulation counted Arceus as, is ranked 170th overall offensively and 46th defensively. Arceus doesn't have a negative ability. I don't know, maybe I should just let it go. At number 4, I have Garchomp. Garchomp is the first mon that I've mentioned that ended up in the top 10 overall. I'm gonna say specifically where in that top 10 for a future video. Dragon Ground was 25th offensively and 88th defensively. Garchomp was the highest rated pseudo-legendary mon. Garchomp has decent bulk, great attack stat, and most importantly, gets over that 100 base speed mark that a lot of good mons land at. At number 3, I have Giratina. Dragon Ghost ranked 133rd offensively and 44th defensively, and I think it's a testament to Giratina's defensibility that it ranks so lowly offensively and reaches this high on this list. At number 2, I have Palkia. Dragon Water ranked 74th offensively and 69th defensively. When I made my Gen 2 video, I found that Kingdra was much higher ranked than a mon with mediocre stats should be. In the video, I attributed it to Dragon Water being a much better typing than was apparent. This is because defensively, it really only loses to Fairy, and offensively, it is only resisted by 12 mons in the dex. I think not losing to really any type of mon and having crazy stat block is going to shrink the pool of mons that you lose to dramatically. Before finishing out the list, I wanted to bring up the 3 starters. Empoleon finished number 7th, Infernape finished 20th, and Torterra finished 29th. Thus far, the grass starter has always finished 3rd every single time. For the worst Gen 4 mon, I have Happiny. which finished with a 3.1 win percentage, which was 1019th overall. And finally, at number 1, I have Dialga. Steel Dragon was 106th offensively and 13th defensively. Again, I think Steel Dragon is better offensively than it ranks. It is only resisted by Steel, which it also resists defensively. Speaking of defenses, the Steel Dragon type resists or is immune to 10 of the 18 types. Also, Steel Dragon beats most Dragon and Fairy types that Dragon types typically lose to. So that's my Gen 4 list. I'm going to continue this series ranking every generation, so if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe. Thanks and goodbye.